pussycat. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Watch me, pussycat. Whoa, 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 whoa. Pussycat, pussycat, I love you. Yes, I do. You and your pussycat knows.
All right, so
I like scary.
I like both. How about funny, scary?
so kind of scary because you know I took this trip up north one time, and I live up in New Hampshire, but I was up in Maine, and they have this place in Maine. It's really far up there. They call it the county. It's got a bigger name, but most people just call it the county because it is huge. It's larger than any other county in the area, and it's just this big mass with nobody that lives in it really. Just a few people, but there's no really big towns. There's no cities up there. It's mostly forest. So anyway, I was driving along, and I'm driving along, and I've been driving for hours, and I hadn't seen a house or building a car or nothing. It's just driving and driving and driving and driving. And it just went on and on and on. And I'm going to this place that's right up on the border of Canada, the most northern point in eastern part of the eastern part of the United States, and I'm driving and driving, and it's like taking forever, and I'm not seeing anybody, and all of a sudden, off on the horizon is this big black splotch, and it gets bigger and bigger, and it just like takes over, and I realize not only is it like a black storm cloud, but there's a wall of water underneath this storm cloud. You know how it rains in Indiana and Illinois, you know, this wall of water comes down. Have you ever had that experience? You drive right into those things, and it's like, I freaked out because I'd never seen one in Maine, and it was just this wall of water, and it hit me, and the windshield wipers did nothing. And the car just sort of like lifted up in this wave, and it slid off the side of the road and down into the ditch. And I'm in a ditch, and I'm not going in back. I'm going backwards, and the water just keeps pouring down. And I'm thinking, oh my God, it's rising up, and I'm gonna get stuck in this ditch. I'm gonna drown. So I roll down the window, and I get it. The water's pouring in the window, and I crawl out. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. And the water's pouring down on me, and it's like thundering and lightning, and I'm thinking, I gotta get out of the water. And so I jump into the ditch, and the water's dragging me downstream, and I pull myself up the bank, and I get up on the road. The water's just pouring down, and it's thundering and lightning. I think I'm gonna freaking die out here. I can't go that way. I can't go, there's nothing else. I see the trees to the left, so I run into the trees, and I come out on the other side of the trees, and it's this big field, and I see off in the distance there's this big house, like a mansion out in the middle of the field, and I think, oh my God, I gotta get to that mansion. And I'm running through this field, and the grass is like this high, and I'm trying to get through it, and it's soaking wet, and the water's pouring down, and it's thundering and lightning, and I'm thinking, I gotta get to this house. And I run up to the front steps, and I run up to this door, and it's this huge big door, and there's this big knocker on it, and I grab the knocker, and as I do, I can feel this rod pulling out. I go boom, and then the rain's still coming down, and it's thundering and lightning. I'm thinking, God, please, I can't wait. And I just grab the thing, I'm gonna pull it again, but the door starts creaking open, and then there's this man standing there. He's not a very tall man. He's got these big long jowls, and he's wearing a tuxedo type outfit. He's obviously the butler, but he looks like some cross between a basset hound and a penguin. And he said, may I help you? And I said, it's poor me, and my car's out in the ditch, and I need a tow truck. And he says, and I said, you got a phone? He said, certainly. And he brings me over to this room. I'm looking around. This place is wood. It is like all wood. Beautiful, beautiful paneled boards, doors everywhere. 2 staircases going up to another level. And you can see like another level above that. And it's like catwalk all the way around. And doors. Hallways going off into the distance. And thinking, this place is huge. And I'm standing in this room, and he's bringing me, walking across this room, and he brings me to this really small, relatively small wooden door, and it's got a glass panel in it, and he opens it up, and I realize it's a telephone booth. It's a wooden telephone booth, and it must be like ebony and all these exotic hardwoods, and I'm like, oh my god, I actually get to go into this thing, and I get into this little teeny tiny wooden room, and I shut the door, and I'm looking at this phone, and I have never seen a phone like this. It was an old dial phone, and it was all wood with like beautiful ebony knobs. I'm holding it thinking, this feels so good in your hand. But it doesn't work. It doesn't work at all. There's nothing. It's not working. He says, perhaps it's the store. So we have plenty of rooms. Why don't you just spend the night, and we'll sort this out in the morning. And so the next thing I know, I'm in this beautiful suite of rooms. I mean, there's a bedroom, and there's a bathroom, and there's a sitting room, and there's a reading room, and there's like 5 other different rooms. And I'm now dressed in this silk bathrobe, and this cute little maid is carrying my wet clothes away. That she's gonna get them cleaned and dried for morning. And the butler, he goes, we only have one rule here, sir. Don't touch the green gorilla. And then he turned and walked out of the room. And I think, green gorilla? What's a green gorilla? I mean, I've seen a lot of gorillas, and none of them were green. I've never heard of a green gorilla. So perhaps he has something else in mind. Perhaps there's a painting or some piece of art, maybe a sculpture, maybe it's an emerald. Maybe they have an emerald gorilla. That would be really valuable, and they wouldn't want you to touch it, right? So I'm looking around. Why would he tell me not to touch the green gorilla? I mean, the only rule is not to touch the green gorilla. And I'm looking around, I don't see anything that would be a green gorilla. Nothing even green. There was no gorillas. And so I went through the whole suite. I even looked in the bathroom, looked in the shower. No green gorilla there. All the drawers. There was nothing that I could come up with. So I thought, just go to bed, right? So I climb into the bed, and I pull the covers up to my head, and I roll over on my side. All I can think about is green gorillas. I can't sleep. I'm lying there thinking about green gorillas. So finally I think I'm not going to sleep. I might as well go look for the green gorilla. So I get out of bed, and I go out into the hallway and look up down the hallway. And I just come up this way. That was where the stairs were. So I figured I'd go that way. And I walk down the hall, and then all it is this long hallway with a lot of doors, just like the door that I had come out of. Get to the end of the hallway, and then there's another kind of a door, like a brass elevator door, really nice brass elevator door. And when I come to the end of the hallway, the doors open up. And I think that's nice. I didn't do anything. Maybe they got some kind of sensor thing that detects when you walk up to the door. So I walk over and I look inside, and I don't see anything. Just an elevator wall. Step inside, and I look around, there must be some button, there must be some sign. There's always like a light, but I don't see anything. The walls are just blank. Suddenly the door slams shut, the floor drops, and it goes down like I was on some skyrise. Have you ever been in the skyrise elevators? Those things like drop, and your stomach goes, whoa! That was what it was like, and I'm going down and down and down and down. I'm thinking I was only on the 2nd floor. It goes down and down and down and down, and it stops, and my head's like pressed into my shoulders. I straighten out, the doors open up, and it's a short hallway. And at the end of the short hallway, there's a door, a wooden door, and there's a lock on the door, but the lock's on my side. So I think, well, I've come this far, and I walk across up that short hallway up to that door, and I unlock that door, and I open it up, and on the other side of the door there's a short hallway, just like the short hallway I had just come out of, only at the end of this hallway there was a glass door in a glass frame. It was, like one of those office type things. It's an inside door. It wasn't something you'd see on the outside, and it was against a foggy white glass, and it had a lock on it. The lock was on my side, so I went up and I unlocked the door. And I opened it up, and I looked and saw another hallway. Just like the two hallways I had just gone through, there's another hallway in front of me, but this one has a steel door with big steel rivets in it, and there's a lock on that door, and it's on my side. So I walk up and I unlock the door and I open it up, and on the other side of the door was a small room, and in the middle of the room was an iron cage, and sitting in the middle of the iron cage was a green gorilla. And I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, oh my God, it really is a green gorilla. It's a gorilla, it's green, it's really kind of shiny green. And I'm looking at its hair, and it looks like hair, but it's perfect. I mean, I'm thinking, if that were a real gorilla, then the hair couldn't be perfect. I mean, there wasn't a single hair out of place. And as I walked around the green gorilla, it was just sitting there. Its eyes were closed and didn't seem to be moving. And I'm thinking, it can't be real. Not even stuffed. I think it must be like ceramic or something. I didn't know. I couldn't tell until I reached through the bars and I touched the green gorilla. And its eyes popped open and its head snapped and looked at me, and those fierce red eyes stared into my frightened ones. And I tell you, I jumped, spun, and ran out through that steel door. I shut that steel door, and as I was closing that steel door, I heard those iron bars bending. Well, I locked that door as quick as I could, and I was running down the hallway. I was about 3/4 of the way down the hallway when I heard the first bang! I got through that door, that glass door. I pulled that glass door shut. I locked that glass door, and I could hear that steel door sliding down the hallway. Boom, 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 boom! I was running for that wooden door, and I got through the wooden door as I heard the glass shatter, and the steps, the loud hopping steps of that green gorilla as it chased after me. I shut the wooden door. I locked that wooden door. I ran for the elevator. The doors were open. I ran, and as I got into the elevator, I felt the splinters of that wooden door that exploded under that green gorilla, and it ran down the hallway. I'm praying, the elevator doors closed. They were closing really slowly, and as they got about to close, that green gorilla grabbed a hold of those doors and he pulled them back open, and he stepped into the elevator and he walked up to me and he touched me and he said, "You're it." And that's the story of the green gorilla.
Yes.
If you liked the video, please give us a thumbs up. Want to see more of our adventures? Click the subscribe and notification button.